It's me, Ellen, from different part of my room. I am on my bed today. The sun, it's okay, but it's the best lighting you're gonna get. Now, this video, I filmed it 2 times already. The book, the movie, and the regular life wrap-ups. 2 times. The first time I lost the footage. The second time, the footage was so blurry, it was totally unusable. And I'm really tired of having to refilm these videos, especially since we're towards the end of November now. So I'm just gonna combine all of them into one video and just hopefully this footage works. If not, I'm just gonna have to give up on showing you October's wrap-up. So in this video, I'm going to wrap up October. I'm going to talk about the books I read, the movies I watched, and just life stuff like TV shows, songs, favorite memories, all that jazz. So, because we're combining all of them, I'm going to try to go really fast. I'm not going to be able to go really in depth with a lot of stuff. If there's anything you don't want to watch, I will put timestamps down below so you can just skip ahead to whatever it is you do want to watch. But for this, we are going to start with the books that I read. Now, because, again, they're going to take up too much time, I'm going to completely skip the statistics for both books and movies. So I read 6 books in the month of October, which is good. It's usually my average. Want to do a little bit more because I am 1 book behind on my goal for the year, but it's all good. We can still catch up. There's still time. So the first book that I read was Piper by Jay Asher and some other people. I don't have the physical copy with me, I'm sorry. So this is a graphic novel that is a retelling of the Pied Piper. It was a little creepy-esque, I guess, but not too creepy. And I really liked the story. It was just very confusing because the transitions I don't think were done very well, the transitions between scenes. So that kind of made it hard to follow at times. Overall, I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, and the art is by Faith Erin Hicks. I do remember those names. This is another graphic novel, but it's a very cute contemporary type graphic novel about these 2 kids. They're seniors in high school. This is their last year working at the pumpkin patch, and they try to make their last year very special working at the pumpkin patch. It was really great. It was, like everyone has been saying, it is super cute. It is a really cute story, really cute setting. It oozes cuteness. So if you're in the mood for something cute and adorable and really wonderful, highly recommend this book. It absolutely warmed my heart. My only issue with it is that I didn't really feel too much chemistry between the main 2 characters. But other than that, really loved it a lot. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. At this point, I love Agatha Christie. I really need to read more books by her. She is a very well-known, popular mystery author, and this was her most popular and most beloved mystery, which follows, I believe, 10 different people who don't know each other. They're all strangers, but they all are invited to Soldier Island. So they go there, and one by one, they all start getting murdered, and it's trying to solve who's doing this and why. It's very interesting, and totally do not see the ending coming at all. It was fantastic. There was something surprising every time I turned the page, so it's definitely page turning. It took a little while to get all the characters straight because there were so many of them, but also I got a little mad that it took them so long to figure out that it was related to the poem. I was I kind of got that within the first death, that it was all related to the poem. And that's not a spoiler in case anyone's wondering. The poem is pretty much there at the very beginning of the book. Anyway, really loved this mystery. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was His Hideous Heart. Technically, I DNF'd this book because I was not liking it at all. This is a collection of stories that are all a different story that's reimagining an Edgar Allan Poe story. And what I liked about this was that you would have the reimagining, but then you would also have the original story written by Edgar Allan Poe, so you could go back and forth, which is what I did. I would read the original Edgar Allan Poe story, and then go to the reimagining that someone wrote about that story. I guess I just don't like Edgar Allan Poe, because I think I've read 5 stories and then 5 reimaginings, and I could not understand anything that was happening in the Edgar Allan Poe story, so then when I went to the reimagining, being hopefully this would help me make sense of what happened in the Edgar Allan Poe story, the reimaginings weren't that very interesting either. I don't know, I just found all the stories super boring, at least the ones that I've read, and just was like not feeling it at all. So I gave it 1.5 out of 5 stars. Granted, I did DNF it, so just keep that in mind. The next book I read was Othello, which was the Shakespeare pick for this month, because if you don't know, I've been trying to read at least one Shakespeare play each month, and this month I chose Othello. This is probably one of my favorites of his. It's definitely not going to beat A Midsummer Night's Dream, but I really loved Othello. But we follow a Moor, which I guess is what they called them back in the day, but he's an African American, and he marries a white woman, which stirs some controversy a little bit, not too much actually, now that I'm remembering it. It was more so the father that was like super pissed and then disowned the daughter. But he is a very like praised and prized war hero, but then he has to go back to war, so his new wife goes with him and they're all following him. But then his right-hand man, Iago, starts putting some ideas into his head that aren't exactly true. And it leads to some dire consequences. But I actually really loved it. I thought Iago was a really great villain. I thought this story was told very well, unlike his other plays where it like the ending just wraps up way too quickly and way too neatly. I don't think the ending of this one did that. It had a nice pace throughout the whole story that led to a really great and strong finish. Really, really loved this one. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then the last book that I read was Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I've been trying to read this book for years, and I'm so happy I finally did. This was a very long book, and it took forever to read. It literally took me the entire month to read the book. This follows a guy, Scott McGrath, who is a reporter or journalist or something like that. Back in the day, he had followed Stanislas Cordova, who is a very famous, well-known horror movie director. And his horror movies are so scary and like so bad, not bad, but they're so scary that no one ever shows them in theaters. They're all like underground type stuff. But now it is present time and Stanislas' daughter, Ashley Cordova, has passed away. She committed suicide, and so now Scott McGrath is on the case trying to find out if it really was suicide, what happened to her throughout the weeks before she died, as well as starting to stir up some family secrets. But this was such like a wild ride. It was so crazy. I don't particularly like slow-paced books, but this was definitely very slow-paced. And even though it was slow-paced, I was still interested, which is why I kept reading it. But I do think the story did drag a little bit. The pacing was very slow, like I said, and the ending was just way too long. I kept thinking, okay, this is where it ends. Nope, we're still gonna go. Okay, this is where it ends. Nope, we're still going. There were multiple endings within that ending. It just went on for way too long. But I did really enjoy the storyline and the plot otherwise. I also really enjoyed the graphic elements to the story. There were like photos, articles, little like notes that they would write to each other. But yeah, it was great. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Now we're on to movies, and I watched 8 movies this month. I'm like really happy about it. The first movie that I watched was Jexi. Jexi is a romantic comedy about this guy who gets a new phone, and it has Jexi on it, which is supposed to be kind of like Siri or Alexa. Dang it, she heard me. Oh, why did it just take a picture of me? Alexa. Stop! Even whispering her name, she'll listen. But anyway, in this universe, in this movie, it's called Jexi. And Jexi starts out being super helpful, but then starts kind of like destroying his life and being jealous of girls and wants to have like a relationship with him. And it gets a little awkward and weird. I did really enjoy the comedy in this movie. The comedy worked for me. I found myself laughing, but it's definitely nothing special, and it's definitely not a movie that's to be taken seriously. So really, like, the story didn't do much for me, but the comedy really worked for me. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. The next movie I watched was Gemini Man, and I know a lot of people really didn't like this movie, but I actually liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I think a lot more than everyone else. Will Smith in this movie is a hitman for the government or something, and he wants to retire, and so the government starts sending someone after him to kill him, and he finds out that it's a younger clone version of himself. I found it interesting. I thought Will Smith was fantastic. I thought it was actually beautifully stunning. I know some people weren't too keen on the like filming style. but I liked it. The story was lacking something, I'm not quite sure what. So I didn't really enjoy the script, but the action was super cool. I really loved the action scenes. Overall, not too bad. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next movie I watched was Zombieland Double Tap. I absolutely loved Zombieland when it came out 10 years ago. So when they came out with the second one this year, I was just absolutely excited. But we pretty much follow these 4 people in a zombie apocalypse. And the second time around we get some new characters. The zombies have evolved. With this one, the comedy was exactly the same as the first one, which I absolutely loved. And I even really enjoyed the addition of the new characters. I wasn't sure how to feel about the new characters, but I really liked them. And surprisingly, Zoe Dutch was definitely the standout of the new characters. I thought it was going to be Luke Wilson, which Luke Wilson was fantastic, but definitely enjoyed Zoe Dutch. There's lots of really great action as well in this one, and it was really great just to go back to this world and back to these characters. My only issue with it is that the last half, not the last half, but like the third act of the movie was just, it felt very rushed. And also too, there was like one line at the end that was just super cliche, made me roll my eyes, and I was just like, no. We don't need that really cliche line because we already know the moral of the story without someone saying it in such a cheesy way. And it just kind of like brought down the movie for me. But overall, I thought it was really great. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next movie I watched was A Monster Calls. This movie did not come out this year. This movie came out, I think, in 2016. And this is based off of a novel called A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which I never read. This is about a boy who, his mom is dying, and so him dealing with the grief about his mom dying is a tree in his backyard comes to life and tells him stories. It's very interesting how they dealt with grief and like such adult things with a kid. So it was definitely very mature, and I really appreciated that. But the story was also very boring to me. Not entirely boring, but there were times I was tempted to just like turn off the movie because I was bored. It is filmed very prettily. Like, I thought it looked very nice. And I liked how they blended the fantasy with reality. I thought that was done very well. Overall, it was okay to me. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next movie I watched was Jojo Rabbit. This was fantastic. This was a really good movie. It's a comedy about World War II. We follow a little boy who goes to like Nazi school and is trying to become a Nazi, but then he finds out that his mom is hiding a Jewish girl in their house, and he starts kind of like befriending the Jewish girl. I thought Taika Waititi, the director, did a fantastic job. Hitler was in it, but Hitler was more of like the imagining of child, so Hitler's a little bit more childish because it's more like he's this boy's imaginary friend. What I love most about the movie though is that, you know, the whole movie, it's, you know, you've got the comedy aspect of it, but then there's a moment where it gets serious real quickly. And I think that really translates to how the boy is learning. Like, at first you see this as just being like a boy playing war kind of a thing. But then, you know, the war is gonna come, the war comes, and it gets real quickly. And you see it in his face and you see it in the movie, that things get really serious really quickly, and this is not playing war anymore. It's really funny. I highly recommend this movie. I thought it was done very well. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So the next movie I watched was The Current War, which I was so excited for because the cast looked incredible, but it's about the war between Edison, Tesla, and Westinghouse? Crap, what was his name? Was that it? Westinghouse. Sorry. The war between those three about the electrical currents and getting the electrical currents. I don't know how to explain it. I have heard from reviews and other people that apparently this isn't that historically accurate, so keep that in mind if you're a big history buff. I did enjoy the cast. I thought they did a great job. I was surprised that Edison was actually a dick. He was not a good man. This definitely needed more Tesla. I thought Nicholas Hoult as Tesla was fantastic. He was the breakout role or like the big star in this movie, but there was like none of him in it. Like there definitely needed to be more Tesla. More Tesla. It was very boring, I'm not gonna lie. This was incredibly boring. I mean, some shots were cool to look at, but it was just very slow paced and yeah, just boring. That's the, if I had to use one word to describe this movie, it'd be boring. So I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. The next movie I watched was The Lighthouse. Now, I have a very unpopular opinion because everybody freaking loves this movie. They're giving it 5 stars, 4.5 stars. I hated this movie. This is like last year with the movie The Favorite. Everyone loved it, I hated it. That's what this movie is for me. So, why did I hate this movie? It made no sense. Like, this movie made absolutely no sense. It was the most confusing thing I had ever watched. There's only 2 characters in it. We follow 2 people. Again, I don't remember characters' names, but it was Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, who are both fantastic actors, and I really think that they did a great job with what they were given. But yeah, I thought their acting was superb. Other than that, it was crap, but we follow these 2 guys that work in a lighthouse, and there's a storm, and one of them starts going mad and crazy. But I don't know why he's going mad or crazy. I don't understand the mermaid aspect of it. I don't understand what the hell is in the lighthouse. Like, I don't understand why there had to be shots of both Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson naked. Like, also what was up with the frickin' birds? Like, I don't understand anything that was going on. So I really hated like the editing and the way it was shot and the way it was told, because it was just way too confusing for me. But also, this is definitely a movie I should have watched in like subtitles, because I couldn't understand a single word they were saying throughout the whole movie. So maybe in there would have explained why the one character went mad. But I still don't think it would help me at all. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I know I had more stuff to say, but again, pressed for time. So that was that movie. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. And the last movie that I watched was Split. This was a horror movie that came out, or like not horror, but like a horror thriller that came out not this year. It came out, when did it come out? Was this also 2016? Either way, it did not come out this year, so it's not a new release, but it was new to me. We follow a guy who has multiple personalities, and one of those personalities kidnaps 3 teenage girls. I thought James McAvoy was absolutely fantastic. This is one of like his best roles that he's ever had, playing 24 different personalities and having to sometimes go back and forth in one scene between them. He did fantastic. Also, the story was really incredible and really fun, and I will say I was waiting for that M. Night Shyamalan like twist, but it never came. There was no M. Night Shyamalan twist. There's always some like crazy twist that you don't see coming, and it wasn't there. But it was very fun to watch, and I really enjoyed it. It did feel a little too long, but it was fine otherwise. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Alright, now we're on to favorite memories of the month. I do have a couple favorite memories. First of all, I went to Chicago in the beginning of October for my friend's birthday weekend, and I brought a surprise with me. I brought my friend Rose, who was also her friend, so very much excitement happening. But we did a lot of fun things. We went to the Bean, we petted some goats, we watched a lot of movies, went to some really great eatery places, and I also got to meet up with a friend of mine from college, Nick, as well as my cousin Erin, so that was really fun. Yeah, it was just a really great time, and I was just really happy to see these people who I don't like see ever, so yeah, I miss them very much. Then my other favorite memory was a friend of mine, Hannah. It was her birthday, and so she had her birthday at the top of the Hollywood Hills in like a very big fancy mansion overlooking a fantastic view of the Hollywood sign and the mountains, and it was great. And it was also a really fun time. Then also, I've mentioned my cousin Tori multiple times on here. She has moved, and so I went to go see her new place, and check it out and just like hang out with her and had a wonderful dinner. And it was just a really fun time. I also got to help her unpack a little bit. I unpacked her books and put them in shelves with her because that's like my favorite part is book organizing. And then the last favorite memory I have was the very last day of October, Halloween. This was like the most chill Halloween I think I've ever had. My friend Christina and I went to a pumpkin patch. We got some pumpkins, we carved the pumpkins, then we watched Hocus Pocus, and then I continued the rest of the night with like my horror movie session and just watched a bunch of scary movies. And that was it. But those were some of my favorite memories. Now on to favorite things. I have two favorite things. First one being the Forever 21 sale. So Forever 21 is going bankrupt, and the location that I normally go to, that location is going to be leaving. So they decided to have this really amazing sale, which has recently gone away. They changed the sale. But the great sale that they had that I went to like about 4 times was that literally everything on the second floor was $3. Everything. So I got a lot of stuff. And the best part about it was that they kept replenishing it with new stuff every day. So you could go back and there'd be a bunch of new stuff there. So that's why I went multiple times, and it's why I have some new clothes. My other favorite thing is I hope I can find a picture of it, but it's the Sunrise Crunchy Vanilla Cereal. Early in October, my other job as the pretend patient, we had someone come and give like a presentation about healthy eating and how to shop in a grocery store and all that stuff. I really love her presentation. I always love when she comes. And I was really excited for this presentation. So I learned how to like read the ingredients labels and the nutrition facts. And so when I went grocery shopping, I was trying to find like a really healthy cereal. And I found this one. This one was super healthy. And I was like worried that it wasn't going to taste good, but it tasted fantastic. So if you're looking for a healthy cereal that tastes really good, I highly recommend this one. Okay, that is it for favorite things. Now we're going to move on to TV shows, and there's lots of TV shows to talk about, so we're literally just going to not say anything about them, and I will save it for the video I want to do where I go in depth and talk about each of the fall TV shows that I've been watching. First we're going to start with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is not a fall TV show. I've been trying to binge watch it because I really want to get into the show and I'm really liking it. So this month I only was able to watch the 4th season. So that's it on that. Really liking Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Almost Family. I am liking it. Batwoman. I was liking it at first, but now I'm not liking it as much. All American Season 2. I am liking it. The Flash Season 6, I am loving it. When am I ever not loving The Flash? Never. Riverdale Season 4, not liking it. I have stopped watching it at this point. Nancy Drew Season 1, I am surprisingly loving it. And Charmed Season 2, I am liking it. So now comes the portion of where I show you my bullet journal, so let me just show that to you in a following clip. Hi guys! So I'm not going to be doing this on a tripod, so if it's a little shaky, I'm sorry. I'm also doing it on my messy bed, so ignore the background. But here we go, the bullet journal. My theme was candy corn, as you can see. So I just have a little quote, I want all the candy. I did my best drawing candy corns. I was not very good at it. But then here's the front page, the calendar, all of my daily to-dos, and then I have my packing list for Chicago, and then my book wrap-up, which is the books I want to read, the books I want to buy, other books read, other books bought, and then the books I read with their star rating. And then same with the movies. Then my notes on the books, my notes on the movies, TV shows, favorite things, my favorite songs of the month, which, little spoiler for you there. This is supposed to be a budget tracker. I still haven't done it yet. I'm probably just not going to do it till November. And then random holidays. I've been trying to celebrate random holiday every day this year. And so this is me keeping track of that. I will put a link down below to October's random holiday celebration vlog. Then I got the habit tracker, my mood tracker, a brain dump, and then the favorite memories, which you've already seen. So here's Chicago. And then the party, and then I talk about some other things, and then October 31st. Alright, we are now officially at the end here with my favorite song of the month, as well as some honorable mention songs. Now this month there's a lot more songs than usual, so we're gonna quickly go through them. So we have One Man Band by Old Dominion. This is a country band, and I was surprised that I didn't realize about Old Dominion before, because I actually do know a lot of their songs and I love a lot of their songs. I just didn't realize what band was actually playing them and singing them. But now I know, Old Dominion. So Old Dominion has become a favorite band of mine. And this was their new single for the month of October, One Man Band, and I really enjoyed it. Then we've got Lonely by Diplo and Jonas Brothers. I love Jonas Brothers, so of course I'm going to put a Jonas Brothers song in here. And this one came out this month. It's just a single with Diplo, and it's really catchy, really fun. I like it a lot. Next is Sad Forever by Lauv. When am I not having a Lauv song in my wrap-ups? I feel like for the past couple of months I've had nothing but Lauv songs in here. In case you can't tell, I really love Lauv. He came out with an EP in the month of October, and this was the song I think I connected with the most. Again, I liked all of his songs, but this was just one that like really spoke to me, and I really felt connected to it. Then we've got Nice to Meet Ya by Niall Horan. In case you don't know, Niall Horan was in One Direction. I've been following all of their, solo careers because I love them all so much, and this is his new single that came out, and it's very it's got some country-esque to it, but it's also very pop and rock at the same time. But I really enjoy this song a lot, and I can't wait to actually hear his full solo album. But the ultimate favorite song of the month that I have chosen is 10,000 Hours by Dan and Shay and Justin Bieber. So you can tell I kind of had a country month. This month I was really in the mood for country music, but this is Dan and Shay. They're two country artists. They did a song with Justin Bieber, and it's a fantastic song. It is super catchy. I can't stop listening to it even in this month that I am currently in November, and it's just a sweet song about love too. That is it for this video. I really hope you liked it. I tried my best to get as much information out there, but also trying to be quick so this video wasn't so long. That is all I really have to say to you, and hopefully I will come back to you guys with more videos. Bye. Do you miss the road that you grew up on? Did you get your middle name from your grandma? When you think about you forever now, do you think